Good afternoon, scissor users, cutters, groomers, hairdressers, fabric cutters and makers and clothing seamstresses. I have a quick thing I was going to go over with you, and it's called the 5 whys, and it's a questioning and reasoning system you use to figure out the root cause of failure in whatever device or system it is you're using. Now, let's just say you have a shear, and that shear is folding at the tips. Now, I'm going to go over this with you. The problem is the shear is folding at the tips. Now, number one question, why? Why is the shear folding at the tips? And it's because the shear is folding at the tips. It's because the blades are losing contact or pressure. And so it would say they're losing contact or pressure, right? And excuse my fast writing here. I want to make this video really quick and to the point. So you're losing contact or pressure, and then you're going to ask yourself another question. What do you think it's going to be? Yep. Why? Why is that shear losing pressure at the tips, and why is it failing? And it's because the mechanical set is off. Why is this happening? It's because the set of the shear is off. And all these concepts I'm going over are different small videos and shorts or long videos that I have on my YouTube channel and Instagram. So why is the set off? The set off is the mechanical part of a shear. Basically, the space between the blades and how they work. There's a lot more to it. But they're losing contact or pressure. Why? Because the set is off. It's the mechanical part of the shear. Now I'm going to ask myself again, why is that happening? Why is the mechanical portion of the shear not working? Why is the set off? And it's because the previous sharpener or the previous sharpener either ground off the inside ride line or changed the way that the shears mechanically are being used, or your shear was dropped. So basically, why? And it's because the ride line is not in contact, or the ride line is gone from a previous sharpener that just grinds your shear and doesn't reestablish the ride line. And I have a whole video series on that if you just go look at bevels and ride lines. And basically, I'm going to go straight into the next thing. And what do you think that's going to be? That's right. It's going to be why. I know this is tough, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the next why. This is the fourth why. Sorry, I have to jump out of screen right there real quick because I got to look at this board from farther away. But it's why again. Why is that happening? Why is the ride line not there? Why is it gone? Why is it not coming in contact? And it's basically because your sharpener was using either a high-speed abrasive or they don't know how to reestablish that ride line. So it's incorrect sharpening technique or dropped or storage. And that basically comes down to the last why. After you tell yourself the answer of why is this all happening, it's because of incorrect maintenance, technique and sharpening, or you're not taking care of your shear in the right way. So it all comes down to a little bit of education. So when you ask yourself why again, so it's going to come down to the last why, and I'm just going to go all the way up here because I'm scattered on this whiteboard, and it's because I'm just trying to give you knowledge and I'm not trying to make it pretty. There's a lot going on here. It's hard to smash it all in. But basically that last why is going to be because your sharpener or whoever's maintaining your shear has no governance over their sharpening. They were trained by someone who didn't know what they were doing, by an unrecognized sharpener, or someone that just didn't understand the mechanics of sharpening. And so basically what this means is if you're looking to become a sharpener or you're using your shears all the time, you need to be educated on how to store, what happens when you drop your shear, and also how to inspect your shear after it's been sharpening. It's not that you have to use a specific sharpener every time. It's that you want to know that the sharpener that you're dealing with understands these things. So when your shear is folding at the tips, you ask yourself why, and it's losing contact or pressure. But why, right? Why number 2, and that's because the set is off and the mechanical portion of the shear that actually cuts is off. And then you ask yourself why again, and that's because the ride line is not making contact or is gone or has been altered in some way, either by maintenance and stuff like that. So then that brings you to your next why. That's incorrect sharpening technique. Your shear has been dropped, or it's been stored wrong, or the maintenance of your shear is being handled in an unknowledgeable way. It's not that you're wrong, it's just that they're not educated in how to keep up that shear. So when your shear does have a problem, instead of you seeing the problem and understanding what it is and knowing the root cause of that issue, you end up branching out and either adjusting your shear in some way, or you blame the sharpener, or you don't educate your sharpener. But when you get educated, you're going to know which sharpeners are the ones that know their thing. And if your sharpener is the only sharpener you can access, you can educate that person, or you could get them in front of somebody that can. So I'm here to just bring knowledge to the table and teach you the mechanics of how to study failure in your tools. And this is something that I've learned working for Snap-on Tools. And I learned this through an ideology called 6 Sigma. And I'm a green belt in this thing. And so this is called the 5 whys. And it's a way to figure out and find how failure happened and the root cause of it. And a majority of this, of why is your shear folding at the tips, comes down to you have a untrained and unrecognized sharpener, or you're unable to understand how to store your shears or maintain them or recognize when there's an issue. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM, leave comments, ask me anything you want. You can 5 why me to death and I will figure it out because I'm the real one. Arr.